It being 5:30, I'll call this meeting of the Village Board of Trustees to order. If everyone would please stand for a moment of silent prayer or reflection, and then remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Clerk Turner, would you call the roll, please?
Trustee Steinwedel?
Present.
Trustee Kazam?
Present.
Trustee Simmons?
Present.
Trustee DeVore?
Present.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Present.
Trustee Reichert?
Present.
Thank you. Council?
Yeah, we need to get on the record the rationale for Trustee DeVore participating remotely. I assume it's business, but, okay. Yes. So let's let the record reflect that Trustee DeVore is participating remotely because she's away on business.
Okay. We'll proceed now to the approval of minutes from the Board of Trustees meeting on March 3rd, 2026. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Simmons, seconded by Trustee Weisenberg. Any corrections or additions to the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Minutes are approved. I'm going to pause right here before we get to comments from the audience and make a quick announcement. Notice is hereby given of a public hearing to be held Tuesday, April 7th, 2026 at 5 p.m. at Village Hall, 4901 North Prospect, Peoria Heights, Illinois, regarding the proposed fiscal year 2026-2027 operations budget. The tentative budget is available for public inspection by contacting administration at peoriaheights.org. Signed, Village Clerk Stephanie Turner, Village of Peoria Heights. Thank you, Clerk Turner. We're now down to comments from the audience on agenda items only. If you would, please come to the podium, give your name, address, and try to keep your comments to 5 minutes. Comments from the audience? Comments are going once, twice. Comments are closed. We're now down to old business, ordinance 2026-1786, an ordinance rescinding and repealing prior ordinance 2025-1170, passed October 7th, 2025, overriding mayoral veto, establishing new Article E of Chapter 3 of Title 3 of the Peoria Heights Old Village Code, implementing a municipal grocery tax. Trustee Steinwedel, do I have a motion?
I would make a motion to do so.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Steinwedel and seconded by Trustee Weisenberg. And I'll just say to Trustee Weisenberg, the only reason it went to Trustee Steinwedel is that he originally had requested that be on it, or else.
I'll trust it with Trustee Steinwedel. I'd like to start this off with, to the trustees that haven't made their mind up regarding the grocery tax. I understand there are some really good arguments for and against this tax. What I would like the trustees to do is to take a little bit of a mindset change. Take a change from coming from a place of scarcity and saying we need this money, let's tax everything we can tax, to a mindset of growth where we start to look at our community and what we have in front of us and the opportunity that we do have in front of us to grow our economic base through economic growth in this community. Our board has an extremely sound history of being able to do this. You know, this town has been through quite a bit, from PAPS to other setbacks in the past, and we are looking nowhere but forward. And I think that this grocery tax is something that it's almost a mindset of scarcity, of just saying, hey, this tax, we need to grab every dollar that we can tax-wise. And I'd like the trustees to take a little bit different mindset on this and just to say, listen, let's look at the economic growth that we have in front of us. Let's look at this opportunity, and let's grow our tax base through that, which we do have significant opportunity in front of us here this year. So.
Thank you. I'd also like to add that it was really beneficial to hear from the residents. They came out in droves, and we have all been elected up here to represent our constituents and their desires, but also to do what we feel is best for our community and its citizens now and into the future. I'm very well aware of prices rising and the increasing difficulty for families to manage, and I'm very sympathetic to this. I'm also not completely convinced that the 1% grocery tax actually achieves the goal of alleviating the burden on our residents of the Village of Peoria Heights. We happen to be in a very unique situation with one of our two main grocery stores closing, and this means that the estimated $125,000 annually that we receive from the grocery tax is being spent in our community from businesses that are on War Memorial Drive and the one remaining grocery store, Allwins. Presumably, this tax is being generated not by Village of Peoria Heights residents, but from visitors. I fear that our residents will be forced to shop in surrounding communities that do charge the 1% tax, and therefore will not be benefiting from the reduced grocery tax, and also not benefiting from the revenue that's used to pay for public infrastructure and other things in our community. After having multiple conversations with my fellow trustees, I plan to vote with my fellow trustees this evening and listen to the voters, but I sincerely hope that we will not have to revisit this down the road, and that I can assure you that I will be working with everyone on this board to increase economic development to offset this revenue loss.
Any other comments on this matter? Here.
I would, Mayor, just for the record, I'd like to, a quick statement. I won't waste the board's, I won't put them through a painful rant, because I know I've talked about this several times, but I just wanted to be very clear about where I stand. First, I'd like to thank you for your unwavering support for ending this regressive tax. You've been pretty consistent from the get-go, and I think that's important. I do believe the state of Illinois did the right thing by repealing this tax. This was a good step for working families. I have consistently opposed this tax, and will continue to oppose it. But I wanted to share just a quick perspective on what I think gets to the heart of this issue. We often hear in government that we could possibly use the income in the future, but we have to remember who we're really talking about here and whose pocket this money is coming out of. Families in Peoria Heights don't run their families on massive surpluses. They balance their checkbooks. They make tough choices every day. When their income is flat, they cut expenses. They just don't go looking for more money from their neighbors' pockets. If we expect our residents to live within their means, they should expect the same from us. We need to tighten belts if necessary, look for efficiencies, find ways to do more with less, not ask our residents to pay new local taxes. I am glad that we put this referendum question up, because the voters made their choice perfectly clear. I think the vote was 72% to 20 or something. And I am listening. And I stand with the majority of the citizens who do not want more local taxes. And I hope the rest of my fellow board members, which I think they will follow suit and repeal this tax for good. Thank you. And I have one more question for council real quick. So this grocery tax isn't in place right now, is that correct? Because I've seen some receipts that have the tax. Like, I go to I'll throw Allwins out there because I shop at Allwins quite a bit, and I don't have any taxes at Allwins since January 1st. But other people have sent me receipts that do have that tax. So I'm trying to understand, I'm trying to understand the inconsistencies. But it shouldn't be in play right now. Is that correct?
I don't believe so, but I can't remember specifically because I represent so many different communities. What, in October, we
Missed the deadline. I'm
met the
sorry.
deadline, so we did not. That's right, we did not. So no, it should not be in effect.
If I
It would
remember,
go into effect, but that's what we're facing.
if I remember, I believe it was July 1st that was supposed to begin.
That's correct.
It was removed January 1.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any further comments?
I just
I do,
personally,
Mayor.
go ahead, sir.
I just wanted to also speak briefly about this, and like trustee Steinmetz stated, like, I understand and respect the opinion of my fellow trustees and the opinions that lie, on both sides. But right now, nearly every municipality around us has chosen to implement this 1% tax because they understand it supports local services and keeps their communities financially strong. We have chosen not to. We do not have a full-service grocery store, and that means our residents will continue to shop in surrounding communities, and they will still pay this tax. The difference is those dollars will benefit other municipalities and not ours. At the same time, by not implementing the tax here, we are also choosing not to collect revenue from non-residents who spend money in our gas stations, convenience stores, and our meat market. We are also effectively sending our tax dollars out while declining to bring any in. I also want to be clear about something important is this tax does not impact our most vulnerable residents. Purchases made through SNAP benefits and other things are not taxed, so it is not a burden on those who need that assistance the most. As we've heard from some of my fellow trustees, we have seen budget surpluses in recent years. Those surpluses have not been so significant that the funds are not needed, and they do fall short of the growing list of needs, demands, and long overdue investments in our community. We have infrastructure that has not been meaningfully updated in years, and choosing to walk away from a consistent revenue stream only makes those challenges harder to address. Now, while I personally do not believe this was the right decision, I did say and will stick by my word that I would respect and stand with the vote of the people, and I will. However, I also believe it is my responsibility to ensure that our residents fully understand the long-term financial impact of that decision and continuing to advocate a thoughtful decision moving forward. What concerns me the most is that this decision was shaped with very limited community input, and I do not believe it reflects a full or accurate picture of the residents would want if they had been more fully engaged. This is not just about a 1% tax, it's about whether we are making decisions based on sound financial planning, long-term needs of Peoria Heights. I think we need to be very mindful that the decisions like this are being made for the future of this community and not for any of our future political aspirations. Because the cost of getting this wrong doesn't show up today, it shows up later credentially, reduced services, increased pressure on opportunities for our community, and that's something I don't believe we can afford to ignore.
Okay, thank you, Trustee DeVore. Any other comments?
Mayor, I just wanted to thank the constituents for voting and sharing their voice. This is a very important subject for our community. And as I mentioned before, I will follow along with the voice of that vote, the winning voice of that vote.
Fair enough. Thank you, Trustee Simmons. Any other comments?
Mr. Mayor, would like to go back to a little bit of this, some of the conversations I had with constituents that brought me to that open letter. Looking at the numbers, Illinois, out of all 50 states, we have the highest tax burden for all of our residents. We beat New York, we beat California, we beat every other state out of this union. And the issue that we look at is we have to say at what point is enough? How much does the government need to consume of our residents' income? And I think that this is another mindset issue with this, is looking at how much we're going to take, and at what point do we just say stop? And I think this is, this is us sending a loud message as a board that we're listening to our residents. We are listening to the people in the community and what they're saying to us, that literally they're being taxed to death, and we've got to stop at some point. And I think that this is extremely important to note and to look at. We can't just continue to say, well, the communities around us are doing it, so we're going to do it. I mean, Chicago proper didn't even reinstate this tax. About half the municipalities, from my understanding, have not reinstated this tax. So we are not necessarily in the in the majority or minority, this is a decision a lot of communities are making. And I think that's very indicative when you start to see these communities start to say, we're done. We're done taxing our residents. We're gonna stop raising these taxes. I mean, I think everybody gets frustrated with some of the proposals out of Springfield, you know? And I think that's something to consider on this. It's just, we're done. We're done taxing this way unless we have a specific need and it's something that needs to be done. I think economic growth is the way to go, move forward and increase our tax base and provide the services to our residents.
Thank you, Trustee Steinwaddle. Any other comments on
If I
this?
could just underscore real quickly what Trustee Steinwaddle said, and I'll preface this by saying that I respect Trustee DeVore and her stance. I think it comes from a genuine place. I know she means well. But I just want to remind those at home and here in the audience and those listening that it isn't only citizens who qualify for food assistance that are struggling. Credit card usage is at an all-time high. Defaults are up. Middle class and working families who don't qualify for government handouts are struggling. Affordability is unaffordable. And, you know, I've heard from a few constituents about, you know, this tax is paid by, you know, people who live in Peoria and Washington and East Peoria. Well, shame on Peoria. Shame on Washington, East Peoria. All those other communities, the unaffordability crisis is not unique to Peoria Heights citizens. Their citizens are struggling as well. And instead of tightening their belts, a few communities I looked at, the grocery tax constituted 2 or 3% of their overall budgets. Now, there's not a person that can convince me that their government is so efficient and so conservative that they don't have 3% that they can tighten up. That would be the first in human history, that they didn't have 3% of their budgets that they can trim to stop families from paying this evil, regressive tax. So I think this is a good thing. It's a good thing for the citizens who shop in the village of Peoria Heights, because they need a break too. It isn't only Peoria Heights citizens that are struggling, everybody's struggling. And those communities missed an opportunity to ask their voters, because I'm sure their voters would have said the same thing our voters did, because we all live in Illinois and we're all tired of the high taxes. So again, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Trustee Weisenberg. Any other comments? Well, I will say just in closing that I'm very proud of this board. I'm proud of all of you for having a very thoughtful conversation for the better part of a year on this. And, you know, I know not all of us agreed where I was on this issue, but I admire your courage of conviction and, you know, staying true to where you were. But I also admire that your willingness to go to the public, to the people of Peoria Heights, and to ask them where they fell on this issue. And again, that is something unique to the Peoria Heights, where we asked the people what their opinion was and if they wanted this tax. And I think tonight we have the opportunity to tell them we hear you loud and clear. So again, I really appreciate this board. This has been an exercise for, again, since September, but I very much admire all of you, even though that some of us fall on other sides of the issue on this one. So with that, Clerk Turner, would you call the roll?
Trustee Steinwaddle?
Aye.
Trustee Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Simmons?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore?
Did we lose her connection?
No.
She muted?
She is currently going muted and unmuted. Trustee DeVore, you're unmuted.
She's still unmuted?
She lost the connection, Mayor.
Okay, I think we can continue on.
Okay. Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
Okay, do we want to try to get her back for,
Should we call her on the telephone?
I don't know if we can get her speaker on this.
I can put
her the opportunity to.
She's logging back in.
Who's calling?
Can you?
There you are.
Yes,
Trustee DeVore, go ahead and with your vote.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, we're now down to the site plan approval application filed by the 33 Room LLC seeking approval of a site plan for an outdoor alcohol consumption area pursuant to section 10-3-4 of the property located at 4541 North Prospect Road. Trustee Kazam?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Kazam, seconded by Trustee Steinwettle. Trustee Kazam?
Yes, so as all of you know, this was in front of us at our last meeting. The site plan was approved by zoning unanimously, and they had some other issues to deal with that I'm not sure have been successfully dealt with between the last meeting and this evening. I'm making a recommendation that we approve the site plan. It's attractive. It was, unanimously approved by zoning, with the caveat that they have to deal with the bathroom facility issue before any type of redevelopment agreement takes place, if that's the direction they plan on going, or any construction. Oh, great.
Just met with Larry Young and the state plumbing inspector, so we will need bathrooms, but I think it's just one more stall. So I think the next step is to negotiate with the building owner and try to figure out what we can do to accommodate that.
So what would you prefer here? We can vote on this, or we can defer to a later date. Can work with you.
I guess maybe just defer, and I can work with Sarah to get back on the schedule at a later point.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of stuff in the other. There's also like the financing half of it too. So there's a lot of stuff in the air right now. So we might have to tweak the plans at some point if we get into that. So.
Okay.
Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah,
Trustee?
yes, definitely.
Okay.
I just was giving an opportunity for this to move forward, but if you're happy with this, then yes.
Honestly, I don't know what the best
Yeah.
answer is, but I think there's enough in the air that it might just make sense to revisit it.
Okay, that's just fine.
Okay.
And we would defer without a date?
Yes, without a date at this point, I think.
So a motion to defer is always in order.
I make a motion to defer.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Kazam, seconded by Trustee Simmons. Any debate on the deferral? Essentially tabling. Hearing none. Clerk Turner, would you call the roll?
Trustee Steinwettle?
Aye.
Trustee Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Simmons?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee Riker? Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. We're now down to the request for street closure of Prospect Road from Kelly Avenue to Cyberlane Avenue for the Mount Moon Festival on Saturday, August 29th, 2026. Trustee Weisenberg?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Weisenberg, seconded by Trustee Steinwettle. Trustee Weisenberg?
Yeah, we discussed this topic, I believe, at our last meeting, and there were some concerns from the village board on closing Prospect. And then we had tasked the organizer with coming up with an alternative plan. I haven't heard the alternative plan yet, but we're all ears.
Yep. Yeah, council members, thank you so much again for tabling at last meeting, giving us the opportunity to come back with an alternative, and certainly appreciate all of your recommendations for an alternative that you proposed a couple weeks ago. We spoke with Administrator Sutton yesterday morning about the potential for another location. It would be the 1300 block of Kelly outside of Cafe Santa Rosa. We spoke with the owners of Cafe Santa Rosa. They're very interested in becoming basically part of the venue space, so they're going to open up the big doors and kind of, ideally what we're going to do is block off Kelly right after the parking lot for like Slow Hand and for the previous 12 bar building. We've spoken with the people with Ardor that are, bringing businesses into there, and they're very excited about the prospect of this event happening on their block. And again, Cafe Santa Rosa is extremely interested. We've attempted to get in contact with the resident that lives on the corner down that way, but we wouldn't be blocking them in. We'd be putting the barricade basically right where the Santa Rosa parking lot ends, their second parking lot down. But we believe this genuinely might be a better space for the event for this year, just after speaking with Santa Rosa and how encouraged they were with the proposal. So that is our proposed alternative.
Yeah, I think this is a great alternative for everybody. I think, it will not impede the parking lots at 4500 or Heritage Square. I think the half-block closure here will be great. Plus, they have an indoor venue and outdoor venue. So I'm 100% for this.
Good job.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, well, thank you again for working with us and, giving us this idea just in general. We think that due to it being a much less busy road, that if we can get approval to shut down for both Friday night, because last year we had a Friday night concert at Cafe Santa Rosa, and then we had Mount Moonfest during the day in Prospect. But if we can set up and leave the stage in the street and have the street closure basically, I would say from all day on Friday and Saturday, or noon on Friday to the end of day on Saturday, that would be great, if possible.
Which one would you prefer? All day Friday?
If we can only have one day, Saturday, please.
Oh, no. You said you wanted for 2 days,
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be the 28th and the 29th.
That
Yes.
wouldn't be a burden for Public Works. They could do that during business hours and then basically just come out and pick up on Sunday.
Yep, that would work excellent. I think it's a great alternative for that. I think it's really going to work out well. And yeah, that wouldn't be a problem for us.
Yeah.
So do we need an amendment? Closing Kelly instead of Prospect? And then mention both days?
Yes.
Okay.
So, do you want to make that
I'll
amendment?
make the amendment.
I'll second.
Okay, so would you be kind enough to read your amendment?
Yeah.
Apologize.
It's okay.
No, you're fine. So I move to request the street closure of Kelly Avenue for the Mount Moon Festival on Friday, August 28th at noon or in the morning.
If we can have all day, that would it might potentially be necessary due to the potential scale of this event this year, if we can do all day, but if that,
We could certainly have it closed by like 9 o'clock in the morning.
yeah, I'm just thinking about our small team and a lot of volunteers. The more time we have to prepare for the event with the street closure would be preferable.
I would recommend going earlier in the day, 9 o'clock, just because if you're gonna have porta potties delivered and things like
Yeah.
that, they're not really operating on your schedule. So
No, absolutely not, yeah. So yes, we're requesting all day Friday and Saturday.
On Friday,
Apologize for not being super
No, you're
clear on
good.
that.
August 28th, starting at 9 a.m. to Sunday, whenever you guys pick them up.
Yeah, we can have a couple guys come in Sunday morning and pull them off.
Okay. Could I get a second on that?
I'll
Trustee?
second.
Thank you.
Okay, so motion by trustee Weisenberg and seconded by trustee Reichert. Any comments on the amendment?
I just have one question, if I may. Did you determine who benefits by the event? There's,
Oh, we still have yet to, I guess, crowdfund recommendations. Every year, we typically ask our audience who they would like to see that would benefit from the event. This year, we are going to be picking a local arts organization, but ideally, we're going to get the voting process started this week, and we should have we should have a beneficiary selected in the next week or two.
I'm excited to hear that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is there a proposal process? Can people, to propose to be one of those?
That is something we've been discussing, doing differently this year, and it's just, we were figuring out logistically how to do that, but, yes.
Okay, so we
yeah.
should just pay attention to your website, or how do we get that information?
We typically do it on our Instagram account.
Okay.
Which is @Mount_Moon.
Okay.
But we'd be happy to send an email and tell you who we're selecting this
That
year
would
as
be
soon as we
great.
know. Yeah.
That would be great.
Thank you.
Please reciprocate to us, please. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, any other comments? Clerk Turner, would you call the roll on the amendment?
Of course, Mayor, to remind the board, this amendment is as follows. An amendment to request a street closure at Kelly Avenue for Mount Moon Festival the morning of Friday, August 28th, 2026 until morning Sunday, August 30th, 2026. Trustee Steinwaddle?
Aye.
Trustee Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Simmons?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee Riker? Aye.
Motion carries. Now we'll have I'll entertain a motion to pass, well, I guess we already have the motion. So we'll have the vote to approve this exact same thing we just voted on.
Trustee Steinwaddle?
Aye.
Trustee Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Simmons?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee Riker? Aye.
Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we are now down to new business. First is the approval of the consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Moved by Trustee Kazam, seconded by Trustee Reichert. Is there any trustee wishing to remove anything from the consent agenda?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to remove Girls' Day from the consent agenda.
Okay. Any other one wishing to remove any items from the consent agenda? Okay. So we have a motion by Trustee Reichert or Kazam, seconded by Trustee Reichert, to approve the consent agenda, which remains as the use of Tower Park for Halloween Bash on Saturday, October 31st, 2026. Clerk Turner, would you call the roll?
Trustee Steinwaddle?
Aye.
Trustee Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Simmons?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee Riker? Aye.
Okay, we are back to approval of the use of Tower Park for Girls' Day on Saturday, October 10th, 2026. Trustee Steinway, you removed it?
I'm just going to advise you, I'm going to recuse myself from this vote. My fiance sits on the board of this great organization, so I'm going to go ahead and recuse myself on this just for any sort of perceived conflict of interest.
Fair enough. Can I have a motion to approve the use of Tower Park for Girls' Day on Saturday, October 10th, 2026?
I make a motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Trustee Reichert, seconded by Trustee Simmons. We have Marie here from the event. Marie, did you want to come up and speak a little bit?
Absolutely. And I do have Kelsey with the Center for Prevention too, if she could come up with me. Thank you guys so much for considering letting us using Tower Park for this event. We're very excited. This is a passion project that I have created from a story and from things that I've lived through in my life. I've had a lot of mentorship and a lot of business consulting, and we're looking at making this a national movement. So we'll always be grateful to my roots. I'm a Peoria native, and we've always been in the Heights for this event, so we're very grateful for that. Last year, we had a committee of 5, and we sold 122 tickets for an afternoon event, which we were very proud of. This year, moving forward with our committee, I have 24 women who have signed up and 1 man who is now on our committee. We're moving forward with the 501c3 to have our own not-for-profit status eventually. But we're looking to do really great things and raise a lot of money for the Center for Prevention here in the Heights. So,
Hello,
Hello, yeah, I'm Kelsey Young, Director of Marketing and Communications at the Center for Prevention of Abuse, and I just want to say Girls' Day, it was our first year partnering with Marie last year, and that group raised $10,000 for us. So a lot of support from Peoria Heights businesses, Cafe Santa Rosa, places like that. They just already outgrew the space. So Tower Park will be a huge update for vendors and things like that. And then I just want to thank you all because we've had a long-standing partnership with the village and the mayor. So thank you all. It's important, and our mission is to help all people live free from violence and abuse, and you all do that through your work every day. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Thank you for what you do.
Okay, any other comments from the board on this item? Hearing none. Clerk Turner, would you call the roll?
Trustee Steinwaddle?
Pass, I guess.
Oh, thank you.
Abstain.
Trustee
Abstain.
Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Simmons?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee Riker? Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Congratulations. See ya in September. Okay. Oh yes, in September. You're right. Yeah, exactly.
It says October on the.
We got another thing in September.
Oh,
Okay, so we're now down to the approval of a pedicab business license for Peoria Pedicab LLC. Trustee DeVore.
you skipped one.
We'll come back. We'll come back. Sorry, Trustee Riker.
No,
We'll
it's
come back.
I make a motion to approve the pedicab license.
Second.
Sorry. No, you go ahead.
Second.
We have a motion by Trustee DeVore, seconded by Trustee Kazam. Trustee DeVore.
Yeah, so this pedicab, this is their third renewal with us. They've been in the village the last couple of years. We've had a good working relationship with them, and they're just applying for the renewal of the license to run their pedicab down through Prospect.
And on Granby, right? Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm sorry, yes.
Okay, great, thank you, Trustee DeVore. Any other comments on this item?
Mayor, remind me, is this a motorized vehicle or is this
It's a guy actually pedaling.
That's what I thought. Yeah. This guy's like my hero.
I know.
I could never do it.
In great shape.
Yes, for a golf cart.
I would be.
Okay, so any other comments on this? Okay, Clerk Turner, would you call the roll?
Trustee Steinwaddle?
Aye.
Trustee Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Simmons?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee Riker? Aye.
Okay, that motion carries. We're now down to approval of a local execution joint funding agreement for Glen Avenue preliminary engineering. Trustee Riker?
Okay, I make a motion to approve, where'd it go? Got me all out of order now. The execution of joint funding agreement, to put curbs, gutters, pavement, sidewalks, new sidewalks, along Glen from Knoxville up to just beyond the trail, right about Lions Park, right? That's about what I saw it on the map.
I'll second her motion.
Thank you. Motion by Trustee Riker, seconded by Trustee Simmons. Thank you, Trustee Riker. Any other? on this?
Not unless, Mark Lee has anything to add to it. I think this would be him or no? Yeah, if anybody's got any questions for him. But this will just make Glen start the process of making Glen ADA compliant. So. Right. He's the right one.
I have a question. Is this what we've been working on, where like we had kind of started, this is all the same, correct?
Yes, this is, we went through the entire process of getting the grant funding, and this is the actual agreement between the village and IDOT, where the village is promising to pay their 20% share of the overall funding package.
Perfect, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure I was on the right page. Thank you, Mark.
Any other questions or comments on this item?
It looks like our portion the 185,350.
That is correct. So we have a total amount that we thought the project was gonna be. Obviously, it goes up every year, and this is taking a while to get past. The total amount that they give us, we just have to hit 20% of that. The total cost of the project, probably when it's done, will be beyond the 20% anyway, but, so the share that you see is the must-have share minimum for the IDOT funding, but in reality, the village will probably end up paying a little bit more to finish the project.
And Mark, just for the people at home, this is just our ADA compliance, so the ramps, this is not replacing the entirety of the sidewalk as we
Yeah,
see it.
this is a two-phase project. We're required by state law to replace ADA ramps, bring them up to compliant, whenever resurfacing a project. We have put in for funding previously. Wayne did that. They did receive funding through the Tri-County Regional Planning Commission. So now this is going to replace all the ADA ramps, make them compliant, and then we're going to go after funding to actually resurface the road, but all the prep work will be done. So two phases, trying to get funding, 2 bites of the apple, basically. This is the first one.
I have a question, Mayor. So where do these funds come from in our budget?
My understanding is this is coming out of a reserve fund that Stephanie's been squirreling away in MFT.
Okay, good.
Correct.
There are funds allocated from MFT, BDD, and TIF. If the board would like to designate which fund, what portion and percentages, then I will happily make
Okay.
sure that is in the budget.
Okay, thank you.
What's the time frame on this?
So we thought it would happen by now. It's taken a long time to get through Springfield. So last fall is when we got our engineer in place, Herman Associates. And so we went through the entire agreement process with them, got to IDOT, they approved it. Now we have the joint funding agreement. As soon as that comes back, I can tell Herman to go. But we're looking at putting this out to bid, hopefully March to June, so next spring, 2027. So this will be a 2027 construction season project.
March 2027.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments from this item?
So this would, I mean, I know it's coming out of the different funds, but it's kind of budgeted for next year's budget. So we're planning ahead for it. I'm understanding correctly, okay.
Good question. Any other questions? Clerk Turner, would you call the roll?
Trustee Steinwaddle?
Aye.
Trustee Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Simmons?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee Riker?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. We are now down to approval of a donation in the amount of $500 for Peoria Heights Grade School PTO. Trustee Riker?
I apologize, I was wanting to talk about this last meeting. This $500 is going to the grade school PTO for the Easter egg hunt that is this coming Sunday. It is open to all community members. They do 2 different groups. Basically what they have started doing is buying pre-filled eggs, which is what the donation goes towards. And then everybody gets to take their eggs home, as opposed to the first couple of years they did this, they would have like our life skill kids and bunch of high school kids stuff the eggs during the week while they were learning math and all that other stuff. And then they would bucket them all up and do it again the next year. So the $500 goes towards that.
Need a second on her motion?
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
I'll second it.
So motion by Trustee Riker, seconded by Trustee Simmons.
Is this what you guys had done in the past? I
Yeah.
think it was, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
Okay.
second or third year that
thought
they've
I
asked
heard
for a
that this year,
$500
yeah.
donation. And like I said, it's open to all community members, so kids from St. Thomas come and all over the place, so nobody's turned away. They even have started in the last few years doing balloons tied to eggs for kids in wheelchairs. One of the PTO members' son is in a wheelchair, so they have special needs balloons that the kids can go around and get stuff to.
Was there anybody here from the PTO?
No,
Okay.
that's what I'm doing.
Wonderful. Just
No,
Do we have an
they
Easter-
asked me to speak for them, so,
Do we have an Easter bunny?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Didn't you volunteer?
I might
Believe it
have
or not,
to not eat so
I've
much
done it,
before that.
I've done it a
getting
year
that
or
suit.
two, and I got fired when the ear fell off, so. The ear fell off during the bunny hop, so I got fired from the job.
Well, thank you, Trustee Reichert, for bringing this to our attention, and I have, my kids
I
are
was gonna say, you've been to it for a couple of years now.
just to witness the 5 minutes.
Yes.
I mean, if that.
You could never get a kid to clean up that fast.
goes
at home.
fast.
It goes really quick, but it is a sight to see, so.
The kids really enjoy it. And there's also baked goods, the PTO does baked goods and stuff like that, and raffle prizes and stuff like that. So if you've got kids, bring them, more the merrier.
It's just a sight is worth it $500. So it's great stuff. So, any other comments on this item? Clerk Turner, would you call the roll?
Trustee Steinwaddle?
Aye.
Trustee Kazan? Aye. Trustee Simmons?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore? Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
Okay, that motion carries unanimously, I think.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
It's for the kids.
All right. We're now down to the final payment on 2016 fire truck in the amount of $201,576.73. Trustee Steinwaddle?
Make a motion.
Second?
Motion by Trustee Steinwaddle, seconded by Trustee Kazan. Trustee Steinwaddle.
I'd like to point out that this balloon payment, I believe, wasn't really on our radar, as it probably should have been, not to anybody's fault here. But I do want to thank Administrator Sutton and his economic prowess, I should say, that we're able to write this check and not have to finance $200,000. We're able to pull this out of the surplus, from my understanding, and get this truck finally paid off. We've got a lot of moving parts of the fire department in a good direction, and this is certainly a step in the right direction. So I appreciate it, Administrator Sutton.
Nicely said.
And also I want to point out, by paying that off this week, we're saving $16,000 in interest, so that's why we have it on the agenda tonight.
Another testament to our fiscal, prowess here. Again, Administrator Sutton has done an excellent job. To have a $6 million budget and have a $400,000 surplus at the end of the year is pretty darn impressive. And again, I appreciate each and every one of you on this board. $201,000 not long ago was the budget of the fire department. So it's pretty impressive to be able to do this in one fell swoop. So congratulations. Any other comments on this item? Clerk Turner, would you call the roll?
Trustee Steinwaddle?
Aye.
Trustee Kazan?
Aye.
Trustee Simmons?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. We're now down to general comments from the audience. If you have a comment, please come to the podium, give your name, address, and try to keep it to 5 minutes. Comments from the audience? Comments are going once, twice. Comments are closed. We're now down to miscellaneous business. Any miscellaneous business to come before the board?
I have something. It was brought to my attention, and I was asked to ask at the meeting. The recycle dumpster out here for Village Hall has been locked up, and I know a few people have said something to me about it, because it's kind of more of a public, I guess it was my understanding it was a public dumpster, so, or it always has been, available for anybody to dump that. Oh, you're smiling. But,
Is that the recycle one right out here?
this one out here, out in the parking lot.
I thought that was just recycling. I didn't think it was a general dumpster.
It's not a public dumpster. The one we put the lock on back in the corner?
Yeah.
No, that's the reason why we did it, because it was getting misused
Okay.
and dumped. So we contacted GFL and made the decision that we put a lock on it, but that's the exact reason that we did.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying, is I think it was misunderstood what it was for, so.
Well, it wasn't just garbage, but it was, I think, grease traps, everything else was being dumped in there. It was a major issue, so.
Okay.
I know the residents were complaining over there about rodents and everything else, so We took care of the problem, because ever since we've locked it up, zero complaints.
Okay, that's fine. They told me to ask. and
Sure,
here I did.
sure.
Thank you, Trustee Riker.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to bring attention to, and I guess a new arm of the fire department that we're putting together. I'm just going to read the mission statement for a grant task force that's been put together. The mission of the Peoria Heights Fire Department's strategic grant task force is to identify, pursue, and secure grant funding opportunities that strengthen the operational capabilities, safety, and long-term sustainability of the Peoria Heights Fire Department. Comprised of experienced professionals with knowledge in public safety, grant research, and program development, the task force works collaboratively to identify departmental needs, evaluate and prioritize grant opportunities, and develop competitive, well-organized grant applications designed to maximize the successful acquisition of external funding. Through a structured and strategic process, the grant task force will research and vet potential funding sources, coordinate the preparation and submission of grant proposals, and support the responsible administration of awarded funds. In addition, the grant task force will provide guidance and recommendations to department leadership and administration on policies, planning initiatives, and operational practices that enhance the department's eligibility and competitiveness for grant funding. By leveraging the expertise, strategic planning, and collaboration, the Strategic Grant Task Force is committed to securing resources that enhance firefighter safety, improve service delivery, strengthen infrastructure and equipment, and ensure the Peoria Heights Fire Department remains well-equipped to protect and serve the community now and in the future. I would like to thank the three citizens that are donating their time. We have retired Chief Barry Roulette, who's in the audience, retired Chief Greg Walters, and Dr. Adrian Cavender. We've met several times, and this is kind of taken on, we see the amount of work that this is going to entail. It's going to entail a lot of legwork on the fire department administration's end, as well as the people graciously volunteering their expertise and time. And moving forward, one of the requests that we've gotten from the group is that we schedule some time in the near future for sit-down meetings with trustees to kind of go over what we have, where we're going, get some input back from the board. We do want to include everybody up here and move together as one team, because we're all, this affects all of our safety. But we would like to go over what we do have and what we don't have, and get some input from you. So we will be reaching out here in the next few weeks and kind of scheduling some time with trustees, one and two at a time, so we can have a sit down and go over the details of this, if you guys would so graciously do that.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Steinwaddle. A couple of quick things that I have just to report. One good and one not so good, but the good, I'll start with that. Trustee Simmons, thank you for your flag donation. It is Superintendent Chandler has found a great space for it to be proudly flying for our America 250 acknowledgement. Superintendent Chandler, do you want to report on that?
Yeah, that flag was raised down at Poplar Lane, and it is flying down there currently.
I saw that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now for just a quick thing that's come up literally today. So Trustee Simmons had received an email that she didn't notice that I was not included on, and was kind enough to send it to me. And essentially, for our lead service line replacements, the thing that we have been doing at no cost to our citizens, because we've been successful in aggressively pursuing grant assistance, and we've been so good about getting that through Mark Lee and Wayne Aldrich and many others, and of course Mike Bailey as well. Well, the deadline for 2028 is March 31st, 2026. And so the ask is essentially to be able to potentially borrow 7.5-ish million dollars. And in order to do that, we need to have an additional meeting because it was not properly noticed in time for this meeting, since it literally came up today. And, you know, that is an issue that will be addressed with the people that need to be addressed by. But for the time being, this is it. So we have to make do with what we've been given. So I would ask that we schedule a executive or emergency meeting sometime in the next week.
Mayor, do you need a motion on that?
Well, I would ask that we find a date that was available.
Yeah, we don't need a motion necessarily. We need to post 48 hours in advance of the meeting. So anytime works.
I would like to be involved in that, but late next week, I am in New York City for the weekend. So I'll be leaving mid next week. So if we could do early next week, that'd be great.
Okay.
If that works out with everyone's schedules. If not, I mean.
Early next week?
Monday would be best for me.
Monday?
Monday, I'll make it
Monday?
work for me as well. Do we want a 5:30 meeting like we normally?
Trustee Reichert, are you good Monday, 5:30?
Yeah, I was just looking.
Sarah?
Sarah, Trustee DeVore, are you good for 5:30 on Monday?
Yeah, I'll make it work.
Okay. All right, we'll have a quorum there. So thank you. We'll put that on the calendar that we will have a 5:30 meeting with basically one agenda item. Thank you all.
Monday, the 23rd?
Correct.
Just a follow-up question, that 7.5, that was a forgivable loan, hasn't the lead service line replacements been?
Some of that is. Mark, do you want to?
Historically, the village has gone after $3 million loans. $2.5 million are forgivable every year. And they've typically had a $500,000 low-interest loan. What Woodard and Kern brought to our attention was that they have been talking to some of their internal funding people. And so what we found out today was that they're suggesting we increase that up to even $10 million because the funding, the last year that we're promised federal funding for lead service lines is 2027. And what we put in for this year is the funding list for the 2027 funds. So there won't be this discussion next year because there's nothing in 2028. So what they're suggesting, and a lot of municipalities are doing, is they're going above and beyond what they would normally put in just to get one last big chunk of money to attack the lead service lines, because once the federal funding runs out, that's now it's village money probably.
So sorry, Mark, so are we anticipating to wrap this project up within that funding, federal funding?
That's a large gray area. Chris can probably attest to this. We have 1,300 some unknown lines. And so when you have 1,300 unknown lines, 1,300 could actually be okay, or 1,300 could be bad. I'm assuming it's probably in the middle somewhere.
You would hope it would be in the middle.
Yeah.
And if it is in the middle, that amount might take care of all of it. But the longer it gets, the more expensive these are getting to replace, obviously.
So if I remember correctly, if they're unknown, they're assumed lead.
Correct.
Okay.
So
And we have to take off a certain percentage every year for the next 10 years, regardless. I mean, we have to eliminate a certain number.
So could you remind me, when, I thought there was some confusion about this lead service line program when we first started it. I was under the impression that we were mandated to cover the entire cost. But other communities have not covered the entire cost.
We are
like East Peoria, I think, was offering like.
We're mandated to administer
yes.
the replacement of it.
So it depends on the municipality. Some municipalities are taking the fees, and they are, you can raise taxes, you can actually put extra fees on water, your water funds. I mean, there's different ways to attack it. Most communities are not hammering individual homeowners with fees for individual lead service lines being replaced. It's one of those things that it applies to, it affects so many people, it's really hard just to, okay, now you gotta pay this, because it's a multiple $1,000 fix, and it's being required by the federal government to do.
What I'll say, what I'll say is that we have to identify those lead lines, but many other municipalities are saying, well, we'll give you $500 to help you replace that. And when the total cost is five, six, seven, $8,000, what these municipalities are looking for are waivers. Waivers from people who cannot afford to replace their service lines, that will just waive their knowledge that they have a lead line, and then they take that form and accept it. And they've done their due diligence. What we're doing in Peoria Heights is we're going above and beyond. We are replacing it. It's not necessarily our job to do it, but we are. And so I think what Superintendent Chandler says, we're supposed to administer it, but how we administer that program, there's a lot of gray area.
So I misunderstood initially because I thought the replacement, the cost of replacement was mandated. Because if I remember correctly, when we were talking with American Water, I think American Water mentioned that they were obligated or mandated.
They're a private company.
I know they play by different rules. They're regulated as a utility and all that stuff. So I know they play by a more strict rule than we do. The Discovery was already funded. It was like 40,000 or something like that.
Yeah, that unfortunately only takes care of a couple blocks. It
Yeah,
does
no,
not take care of
I understand.
1,300 of
I
them.
understand. Okay.
It's roughly $1,000 just to find out if it's what it is.
Well, and a lot of this was done by self-discovery, right? I mean, take a magnet, go down to your thing and figure out whether you've got galvanized steel or lead. So I think at some point, when the money starts getting a little bit dry, we need to be a little bit more aggressive on how to identify what are unknowns. Because if we can cost effectively, determine what is there and what isn't, then we can reduce that cost potentially massively.
Absolutely, yeah. Mhm.
So,
Could this be rolled into the landlord inspection program? Because, 60% of our houses are rentals, so during that inspection, can Shane just stick a magnet on the pipe coming in the house?
40% rental, and we'd have to change the ordinance, obviously, but we could pass on anything to whatever the board desired.
Okay.
If that's what they wanted to do.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Can Woodard and Curran be at this meeting to be able to answer any questions that we have? Is that a request we could make of them? Or can they be on a call?
Yeah.
So they can answer things that would potentially come up?
yeah, I'll ask that Jackie be present, or someone from their office, or Trustee Simmons.
And Mark as well, will you be here? Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you all. We're now down to, I'm sorry.
I had a few miscellaneous
Okay,
things.
yes, sorry, Trustee Weisenberg.
Each spring, we do the garbage collection there at Public Works with a couple dumpsters. We did that with GNO. Are we still planning on doing that with GFL?
Yeah, we did it last year with JFL.
Okay.
Yes.
So
And
we're still planning?
we don't have a date yet, but
Okay.
we will get with Chief Ahart and make sure that we get that scheduled.
Perfect. That's an amazing benefit to the
Yes.
citizens of Peoria Heights. And then the Welcome to Peoria Heights signs, are those all up yet?
They are not all up yet,
Okay.
no.
Okay. Do you know roughly about what percentage of them?
Maybe 25% of them are up, yeah.
They look great.
Yeah.
I see them around. Saw the one coming in on 29 from Peoria the other day. So they look great. I was just curious on where we're at
Yep.
with that. Thank
And
you.
the weather hasn't been very forgiving, has it been,
It's
Jess? We've been busy.
Getting nicer out now.
It
Yeah.
is very nice out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was it, Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, we're now to payment of the bills. Do I hear a motion to pay the bills?
Motion to make payment?
Second?
Motion by trustee Simmons, seconded by trustee Reichert. Any questions on the bills? Clerk Turner, would you call the roll?
Trustee Steinwaddle?
Aye.
Trustee Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Simmons?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
Motion carries. We're now down to the treasurer's report. Clerk Turner?
As of the end of February, there was $12,039,175.42 in the village-controlled accounts. In the water-controlled accounts, there was $2,247,189.85.
You've heard the treasurer's report. Can I have a motion to accept it?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Weisenberg, seconded by trustee Steinwaddle. Any questions on the treasurer's report? Clerk Turner, would you call the roll?
Trustee Steinwaddle?
Aye.
Trustee Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Simmons?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
Thank you. And trustee Kazam, do I hear a motion?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Aye.
Oh, and thank you, Treasurer.